make sure it lines up with what you have.
Okay,
Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
Latitude 47.9486. Longitude -129.0991.
You might want to pick up a little delta there, Jake.
Now there's our bridle looking happy.
Nice
Our
target
beacon.
on the
Oh,
seeking.
Oh, our beacon
Finally
has
down.
lifted onto the trap. That's funny.
Can we get that position here, Johan, when you have a second?
yeah.
Thank you.
What's the range on the tri-type currently?
It's 10 meters.
2.5 meters away from the target, it looks like.
Really?
Johan?
Yes.
Sorry, can I get the depth on that too, please?
Yeah, the depth would be...
Let's go look at that beacon, Danny. What's going on with that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
As long as you're above it, you can't really get into trouble.
It's got a pull pin on it and a monkey's fist for you to carry it, but we're going to leave it for now.
Look down a little with your Zeus camera.
Jake?
Come up above it.
Yeah, I get...
Are we not repositioning right now?
That's good.
We are going to reposition. We're just going to leave the beacon on it.
Oh, that's what you were talking. Okay, that makes sense.
I just want to have a look, see if it's still secure.
The idea is we don't want to fill our bio box with beacons until we're done with the gas tanks. Is it still secured on there? I mean,
I can't tell.
It looks like it's just sitting there.
It's light years away from it.
if we put it in the bio box now, it wouldn't be too much trouble to get it out later, would it?
The problem with the bio box is we have a reamer in there.
Roger.
Steph, are you all set with that position?
Oh, yeah, I am. Thanks, Johan.
Great. And AJ, I can confirm that is the same location we had as our target site.
Perfect.
You could, Danny, if you wanted, get video to do a quick zoom on it.
Yeah, go ahead, video.
Copy. If you want a full zoom, just let me know when.
I think the
That's good.
I think the am steel is what the pull pin was in, and it looks like it's come out on its own. I think it's a miracle this thing is still
Live
actually
video?
on the sediment trap. So I think we should pick it up because I don't think it'll survive the transit. And we'll just have to figure out how to manage it.
Okay, Jake, get the arm out.
Maybe can we just carry it around in the Orion for a while? Oh, no, you're going to need the Orion in a second to do the pull pins.
Yeah, we would, so let's talk about this before we intervene with it.
Yep.
So just so the pilots are aware, as soon as you touch it, it's going to start spinning. So the one of the gotchas here is you wind up chasing it around and then looking at your tether, getting wrapped up in your tether. So everyone up there, yeah, should have a happy heading. So, and also Nav.
Locked in at 185.
Nav can keep an eye on that as well.
135. Yes, 130.
And I believe that, I'm not sure what pull pins AJ's talking about, but we'll want to fly this thing around with the Orion, but we'll probably want to grab, ideally we would grab the bridle with the craft and then hand it to the Orion. It's easier to make an on-the-fly grab with the craft. But we don't want to fly it with the craft because it's heavy, so we want to transfer it to the Orion to take the load. And where I don't know how the beacon plays into that, so
Yeah, I think we just need to clear the beacon somehow. We don't have to do it this minute. We could do it after we do our pull pins.
So what pull pins are you talking
Yeah,
about?
so at the bottom there's 2 weight packs. One weight pack was the deployment weight pack, and that's going to make this too heavy to fly, but
Roger. Yeah.
it helped get it to the bottom in a reasonable time. So we're going to have to pull that pin to release the weights, and that should make the total package something that the ROV can travel with.
Roger. And then we'll come back up and grab
Then we'll
it.
come back up, and that's when we can deal with the beacon.
Well, my concern is if the beacon is not secure, that it falls down on top of the vehicle. So
Yeah, because the sediment trap is going to shift when we pull the pin, and it
Totally.
transfers the weight to the second weight pack.
I would
We can just bring it down with us for now and place it down there.
I would grab it up and then come lower to the seabed and put it in the bio box.
Is it like
Sure.
tie wraps to the?
It looks like it's just sitting
I don't
there.
think it's tie wrapped
It's just sitting
anymore.
there?
So this am seal was had a pull pin in it, and it got released at some point.
Okay.
So I think it's just loose.
So if we're going to grab it up, the order of operations would be to kind of put the craft out there in the sweet spot.
Yep.
And then the pilot gets close to it and gets stable and does not look at the jaw manipulator, but picks some other spot on the device to focus on.
Yep, I'm focused on a one spot on here, and it's been my target the whole time.
And
Yeah,
the
you're
monkey's
doing
fist
excellent.
is a perfectly viable place to grab.
So
What'll happen is if you're watching the jaws, you'll start.
I'll start following the jaws.
Yeah.
I'm watching the beacon.
Yeah, so if you give Jake a stable platform,
get
he
up
can
into
reach
a-
out and grab it.
Stable, please.
Okay.
Let me know when you're.
I'm gonna go start coming forward.
Roger.
Yeah.
Okay. Oop.
If you want,
Open
Danny,
the
you can,
jaws. Oop.
let's back off a bit, Danny, and dial your Z bias in a bit. Back off a little bit. So back off a little bit and come down and look at it somewhere before we try and make the grab.
Yeah.
Get your Z bias dialed in so you can let go of your verts so you're not constantly on them. And then you'll want to come in and basically let go of the controls and slowly float up, and then Jake can make the grab without you.
I know my Z bias is very close.
Yeah, but that's the basic technique. So you don't want to be thrusting up or down while he's making the grab. You want to come in, and that gives him a steady velocity to judge when he can reach out and grab.
How much Z bias do I need on this?
We're light.
You're probably going to
really
need
light.
high,
That's good because
high
the sediment
30s.
trap is
Yeah,
very heavy.
It's worth playing with for a minute. I would say high 30s, 38, 40 maybe. You don't want to be thrusting down, obviously, because then you'll come down into the instrument. But if you come in, let go of it, you'll slowly float up, and he should have a chance to grab it.
You can also turn down your joy gain a bit, so you're a little smoother.
That will definitely help.
Johan, can you show me on the map where this target
It's
is?
kind of just sinking right now, huh?
Yeah, are you looking at the
Yep.
high pack survey or the
Drop it down
ROV
to
nav?
The high pack survey.
Okay. So is this one?
Okay, I see. 2024 06. F 2024.
That's
Okay,
our
perfect. That's
original.
close.
Yeah, it's
That's
only
pretty close, huh?
Yeah, you want it a little bit positive, so when you let go of it, it floats up away. So you don't have to thrust up or down,
Yeah,
but just not
right now
firecracker
it's,
positive.
right now it's slightly going up.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
And then once you pick a depth that you think is good, then if you're watching, you can actually just watch your depth, and but it just gives you a reference when you get in there. I wouldn't chase it too much. My basic technique is to get close, come in, let go of it, and let the manipulator operator do their thing. Maybe just slight inputs to...
I'm grabbing the monkey fist.
Yeah,
Correct?
correct.
Or just underneath it.
Okay.
If you get the amp steel, that's fine too.
Okay.
Now I'm floating up again. Okay, go ahead.
Just slight inputs.
Light inputs.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Beautiful.
Okay, now you can dead stick, Danny, and you should just float up away. And beautifully done, guys. Beautifully done.
Awesome. And you didn't spin the trap, so the lifting strap's still on this side, which will be excellent for later.
Okay.
Well, if you come down, back away and come down close to the seabed, then you can put the beacon in the box. And back away maybe 5 meters or so it doesn't spin from your thrusters. That was nicely done. Didn't touch the instrument at all.
Yeah, nice flying.
Johan, just need another position for where we place the USBL after.
It's just, we're taking it with us.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
I thought we were putting it in the bio box.
No, we'll stick it in our starboard box.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
We'll pay for it later when we have to fish around in there, but
It's a problem for later us.
future us.
That's how science is done, folks.
Especially if there's a crew change in between.
Sounds
We
like
call
a
that
problem for the next shift.
milking it to shift change.
Okay, you can go ahead and put it in the box. Should we set it on the porch and do something about our stabber? Or
No,
reamer?
in theory, the reamer should fall into the box when you open the drawer for him.
okay.
It's going to be hydraulics on the lower tab there to get you a box open button. The one down, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Box opening.
Starboard
Beautiful.
box.
Just so this crew knows,
You
Steve,
can also change cameras. Sorry, AJ. Change
No.
cameras for him, Danny.
I can't see anything.
Change port rail to starboard bow. There you go.
Steve and Jeb and the scientists back at shore were very pleased with the bars installation yesterday. They really liked where we had pulled the cable around to and how we had the pig secured on the ledge. So great job to the team for doing that. Hopefully that bar has lasted a little longer than some of our others in the past. So
That was my first question this morning. Was the wand long enough to make it?
I know, yeah, I was nervous too.
I was.
Because if you looked up the cliff, there really was no other spot for the pig.
No ideal
Come on
spot.
when you're clear.
No.
Cleared.
Apparently it was like the perfect length.
Yeah, so that it hung out just right.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, so if we turn our attention to these pole pins on the bottom, there's two weight clumps. There's a heavier weight clump, which is our deployment weight, and there's a lighter weight clump, which is kind of the ones that will leave on the trap for now. The heavier weights are on the longer line, so they've got all that slack line around them. So if we're, looking at the telestrator, that's all attached to the heavier weight. There's two ROV releasable shackles. One of them will have orange tape on it. That's the one that we want to release now.
What color did you say that was? Orange?
Orange, yeah. I think it's going to be right here. Yeah.
Go take a look.
So I would double check your happy heading
The
for
happy heading is 135. It's the same. It hasn't moved.
you. Roger. This is a good habit.
Scratch that. It's not gonna, it's going to be
a little more.
right here. And these ROV releasable shackles, you get a good view of them here. They've got a safety pin that gets pulled first, and then the pin itself will get pulled. And so because this is slack and against the weight pack itself, we might have to sort of move the shackle around to get it into a position that allows us to make the pulls.
So we're looking at the blue am steel that doesn't have any color tape on it.
No, we're looking down here at the poly steel. So you can see this loop is going to be one of the pull pins.
You want to set it down right there, Danny, with your porch just nudged.
So
Then we can
that's the shackle
get
there.
some close-up looks with the Zeus
Coming down.
after you're happy.
Happy? I'm going to tilt down.
Yep,
the
go
Zeus.
ahead.
Oh.
So we have shackle.
Shackle.
There's a pin on this side, although I actually don't see the pin. I don't know if
I don't see the pin either. There's no.
if we zoom.
Go ahead, video. Okay, stop video.
Not a touch screen.
That really should be a touch screen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep hitting it.
Okay, there's no pin.
There's no pin. Okay, that makes our job real easy then. We just pull on this loop.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Video, stop.
Keep an eye on those. So it's possible to trigger the Niskins or the gastites with a manip.
Yep.
You'll touch them with the shoulder and sticking out there.
Good grip. Okay.
And if we did our math correctly, the sediment trap is not rocketing to the surface. So we can stow this in the bio box.
Okay, I'm just backing away and I'm going to set back down. Video, go wide.
Yeah, you were close to it with your upper arm. The problem with them there is they get triggered with the upper arm.
Okay, go
Especially
ahead.
while we're zoomed in.
Put it in the bio box. The starboard box.
It would probably be a good idea to
Watch
monitor.
it with bubble.
Yeah, monitor with bubble or stay zoomed out on the HD. Steve will be devastated if we trigger one of those. It's going to be a lot of fun later playing with them.
The gas tights or the...
The gas tights?
Yeah.
Yeah, where they're sitting right there, it's real easy to kiss them with the upper arm.
Yeah. We'll put our safeties to the test.
Yeah, it'll just knock the
Bombs away.
safety off. And this is the voice of bad experience.
Okay, closing the box. Okay.
So,
In theory, it's released from the heavyweights.
yes.
I didn't verify that. Did you, AJ?
Yeah, I did. It's
Roger.
clearly no longer connected at that point. It's still, this rope is going to come with us,
Roger.
but this weight pack is going to get left behind.
So we can fly up to the top and
Yeah.
grab it up.
Sure can.
So on our way up there, we can get the Orion out in the sweet spot. And then we're going to basically do the same kind of float and grab.
Okay, I've still got my happy end and my happy
Actually,
heading.
can we go back for the bow of that shackle? I'm worried it might still bind on the thimble. So
Yeah, we can come back in and do
Slide to the left a little, Danny, so I can get a zoom on it.
because if it binds on the thimble, then we'll be yanking and
Yep, no problem. I'm
You should be able to do a floating zoom there.
go ahead and zoom in video.
Copy.
You'll notice when she zooms, depending on the angle of the camera, most of the top will disappear.
Okay, stop.
You had it centered up nicely there.
Okay, zoom out video. Do we want to just bump that off with the,
yeah, or if,
Correct.
I mean, if you can grab and collect the bow of the shackle, that would work as well.
It's a $high shackle there.
Clean up our
okay,
behind
I'm gonna
us
set down.
after leaving
Wait till I'm
300
set down.
pounds of steel plate weights.
Yeah, wait till he's stable, Jake, before you
I was
move the
moving the arm back
Yeah.
away from the line.
You know, it freaks me out when that thing moves.
Okay, I'm down.
Stable?
Stable.
Stable, Mabel? Go for a slight zoom there.
Go ahead, video.
Yeah, that's good
Good.
there. Thank you.
That weight pack, I could tell you.
You probably have to grab the rope and pull
Yeah,
on
go
it
ahead and
first.
grab the rope and just pull it out.
Yeah, 300 pounds.
Okay, we're free. The
I
eye is bigger than the hole. You have to turn it to get it out, so it's just going to hang out there.
Yeah, and that's fine. If it comes with the sediment trap, it'll come with us. So that's good. It's not in the chain. Oh,
Oh, get it out of the hole.
let's maybe not leave it in there.
Give you $1 if you can do that again.
Let's put you right here.
Very nice. Perfect.
Beautiful. Okay, go ahead and
Yeah.
go wide bid.
Alright, I'm gonna bring back the
Good.
arm.
All right, yeah, we can go take a look at that lifting bridle.
Okay, let's go take a look.
I'm gonna mess with the Orion.
Yep, I'm just slowly coming up. Lock in my happy heading again. Okay.
Once you're up about 3 meters or so, you can break all the rules and thrust up.
especially here when there's not a lot of sediment to kick up.
Yeah.
So something to note, I'll tell you everyone later, but the location that we're bringing this to has our old sediment trap there, so there is another tall hazard. When we're carrying this thing, we'll be up in the water column, but we don't want the two to entangle, so we have to sort of be cautious, and we want them near one another, but not too close.
Roger. They shouldn't entangle even if they're sitting right next to each other, right? In theory?
In theory, unless you sort of swing one.
Yeah. We should, in theory, be able to see the weight with it in the Orion, because the Orion can hold it out far enough in front of us. And,
Yeah.
And the 180 cam should look right down. We'll probably have to turn off our downlights at that point. But so what we're going to want to do here, guys, is once Jake makes the grab on the bridle, you can pretty much then dead stick and slowly float up on the bridle until it has a little tension, and then you can make the handoff.
Okay.
Because it's going to have to pick it up, but instead of just, trying to thrust up or horse it with the bridle, if you just, once he makes a grab, if you let go of the stick, Danny, it should just float up and then sit there.
Okay.
On the, you'll be anchored to the instrument at that point then on the bridle. And then he'll just have to, make the handoff. And he'll obviously make the grab down below the Orion. So you don't want to come down into it because we have that Orion sticking out.
Okay, do you see the bridle? Right in front of us.
Tilt up just a bit on your
I got
Zeus.
it.
Okay.
That's good. You want to come up, so tilt down just a bit so I get a reference on the porch with the Zeus.
See the little Fletcher?
Yeah.
Right there? Yeah.
Okay. We're almost to it.
So you're basically going to want to be above it again so he
Yep.
can reach below the porch with the craft to make the grab on the bridle.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to grab it. Let's grab it here.
So it's the red bit on the left that we want to grab, AJ?
It doesn't matter. No, the center's fine.
But for lifting?
Well, it looks like the red bit's wrapped around the
I think that,
strap.
yeah,
Come up a bit more, Danny.
I think the air hose,
Hold on, Jake.
I know.
the air hose I think is just there to keep the bridle open. I think you just want to grab the poly steel in the center. So it looks like it's trapped underneath the float here.
It does.
But if you grab and pull it towards you, it should come free and then be fine.
Okay.
I don't know why it's like that. I think we used to bungee them down and we wanted them to sit wide open so the bungee could clear it off of the trap.
Want me to try and free it from the bottom here? Or
No, just grab
it?
a hold of it. Yep. There we go.
Okay. Let go of the sticks now, Danny, and just float up. Come forward. Come forward just a hair, and yeah, turn your Z-bias down just a little bit.
We picked up a couple of things, so.
Yeah.
So it's secure on the left is what you're saying, AJ?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a weird way.
Roger. Come forward just a little, Denny, and let it float up a bit more. I'd say you can put that in the Orion and then do a kind of a loose grab on it. Okay, hold that there, Danny.
One thing to simply be careful of is to just not pull too hard on that recovery beacon. So
Roger.
the bridle will come up and over it.
Yeah. Go dead stick, Danny. Let Jake do it now.
Do you want me to bring the Orion out for you, or you happy?
I'm happy.
Maybe a little less sea bias. I mean,
Yeah, it seems like we're sinking a bit.
Yeah.
He's
You got to be
pulling
up above
down.
it.
Yep, on the way back up.
We picked up a beacon since the last time you did your Z-bias, a 7-pound beacon.
Yeah.
And a half-a-pound shackle pin.
Okay, I'm ready with the jaws when you get there.
You can help him a little, just gently, gently. If you do a loose grab on those jaws, not all the way. Yeah.
All right, is it in there?
Uh,
Yeah.
Now
well, it's pinched.
turn the.
It's pinched.
That's all right. Turn the jaws.
I'm gonna release on the craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrap it up a bit.
There you go. That's good. That's good. You can live bravely and open them up. Just to get it out of the pinch.
Okay.
Just a touch open. And
I cannot hear you, Dan.
if you touch the jaws open just a bit, it should float up without getting out. You could lift the Orion up a little so it doesn't slide out.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yep, now it's... Oh, it just pinched it.
Yeah, if you open the jaws just a little, it should float up to the apex of the bridle. Maybe a little less Z-bias now, Denny. Probably know your Z-bias.
Know what?
Yeah. That's what we want to see. So that's the vehicle floating up as opposed to you thrusting up.
Gotcha.
So now Jake can do a hard grab and a jaw lock.
Yep, jaw lock.
So now if you stick the Orion, well, it's probably far enough out.
Yeah, it's out there.
If you turn off your downlights, can we see the weight? Maybe.
Video, Iris?
I was looking in the... Is it far enough out it's not going to contact the porch? Are you down
No,
on
it's
the
pretty
shoulder a
far
bit?
out.
Yeah, I'm down on the shoulder. I'm
Okay.
out. You can see it in the stereo cam.
Roger. I can't see from here. So, get yourself sorted out for a range and bearing to pick this thing up.
Okay, where are we going with this thing? So,
All right, so Lynette, did you get the rundown?
Yeah, so I have a sediment trap target to the northwest.
Yes, correct. So that's where we're going to take this one, and there is a sediment trap there, so we want to just keep an eye out for it so we don't run the two into one another. We'll just place
Roger.
them near one another.
Gotcha.
So your
Okay.
altitude right now, Danny, is about 11 meters.
Yes.
So you're going to fly by your altitude, obviously.
Yeah,
if you
so to pick this thing up, I need to make sure I get more altitude.
yeah, there's probably a meter or two of, looseness on the bottom. So if you came up to,
15?
yeah, 15, 16, somewhere in the high teens. And I'll have to adjust the delta accordingly. In theory, you should be able to pick it up now and hold station. You should almost pick it up with the,
Are we bringing back the other sediment trap, or are we leaving that one there?
We're going to release it later in the cruise, but we do that during the daytime so that we can
Okay.
see it on the surface.
Think
That
we
makes
have liftoff.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you're going to need a ship move for this. Start out 25 meters, 325.
Okay.
so let's,
Reasonable.
while she's getting the ship moving, let's pick it up and see if you got control of it
I've
fine.
got 15 meters right now, so
Okay.
yeah, we got control of it.
If you come up to 20 and click in at auto altitude, what happens?
Bridge nav. Good morning. Can we get a move 25 meters, 325, please? Thank you.
You're going north, Lynette? So you want to be whatever direction we're moving, we want Hercules in front of Atalanta before we make that move.
Yes. That's what I'm working on right now. I got to spin
Roger.
around.
Okay, we can cancel that.
Yes, please.
Bridge nav. Can we cancel that and hold position?
I'm spinning around to head north
Thank you.
or northwest.
Yeah, we want to have all the ducks in a row, right? So you got this heavy instrument. It's going to be slow to move around and
Roger.
get out in front of Atalanta. We have, other structures and jewelry here. The other option, if it's easier, you can just pick Atalanta up and stay under it with this package. If that's quicker.
Okay, so my bearing is going to be about 315,
325.
325.
Well, let's see. From you, might be more like 315. Yeah. From you, about 305.
Okay. Nice and gentle.
Yeah.
Got
10 meters of jewelry hanging below you there.
and Atalanta pulling my tail.
Yeah, so it probably would be easier in this case if you're
I'd
like,
come out of altitude too, yeah.
yeah.
Altitude jumping around.
Okay. Get me.
You can dial your Z-bias the other way if you want, or go in and out of auto depth. But I was just curious what the auto, so by clicking in the auto for a second, you'll get an idea of.
So the problem with being in auto altitude right now is you're picking up the
up the weight stack or
the
something.
weight stack. Yeah.
But I could go into auto depth, right?
Well,
I wouldn't.
No.
I don't know.
I wouldn't either.
Okay, I'm just watching it.
I was curious to see what would happen. It'll also give you an idea of how much thrust up you will need. So you can click it into auto for a second, see what the computer's doing, and say, aha, it's giving you 30% up thrust to hold it.
And you said dial my Z-bias in the other way.
You've got it on the bottom.
I know. under the porch too.
Come right up, Danny. Thrust up. Full thrust up. Up, up, up.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, I probably got you in trouble with the autos there.
Yeah, trying to get this thing back into orientation here. Okay, we're off the bottom.
Your Norbert will tell you what's going on there.
Okay, so about 45%.
I do want to send a reminder real quick to the teachers tuning in asking about questions. If you'd like us to connect with your class, you can fill out a ship to shore interaction request form through our education page at nautiluslive.org.
Why am I not picking
Okay,
it
I
up
seem
there,
like
Jake?
I'm right at 30 and steady.
Oh, you're 30 meters. What? You're way up there. That's why.
Yeah, we took off like a
There's the
rocket.
bottom.
Okay, where are we going with this thing? We keep going straight, right?
I'm gonna
Correct.
bring around Atalanta's heading to match yours.
Okay. My bearing correct? I'm gonna
Yeah, approximately.
adjust a little more. You said 305, right?
305, yeah.
Can you get eyes on her with Atalanta, or you're too far away?
Atalanta's right over top of me.
I'm going to see how silly you look dragging around 10 meters of sediment trap.
In the Norbit, like the elephant trunk.
That's great, eh? That gives you, you can see your altitude and your terrain there as you're flying along. In theory, we could pick up the other sediment trap with the Norbit and see how close you are to it. We were finding, when we were doing the submarine wrecks, we were finding basketball-sized pieces of debris with Norbit,
You
like
guys ready for
100
ship
meters
move?
away.
Yeah. Think so. I'm at the end of my envelope.
That's you.
Yep.
It's got your name on it.
Bridge now.
Heavenly Hunk.
25325, please.
That's a good
Thank you.
distance you got there, Danny. 1 square on the nav screen. That's
Yeah.
your sweet spot.
That's
This probably.
yep.
1 to 2 boxes is my sweet spot. 2 boxes, you're probably starting to get pulled.
Yeah. Don't go out of the Atalanta frame.
Thank you.
You'll never see them again. There's a snack boundary in the shack.
And you guys are on the wrong side of it.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on up there.
Snack Shack Boundary. What's that about?
What?
All about privilege.
I don't think Trevor has any intention of sharing his SBKs with the back row, so.
I highly doubt it.
I'm okay.
At 20 meters altitude seems like a sweet spot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 37% Z-bias.
You have it Z-biased up?
Yes.
You're crazy.
Just flying like I'm used to flying. Heavy.
Oh yeah, this is how Luke flies all the time. So there's some wicked Atlanta sonar targets in your future there.
I see that directly ahead of me.
Could be a wall of death. Wall of destruction.
Oh, I'm still waiting for a ship to finish, for Atlanta to catch up.
How far are we moving this thing?
25 meters, 7 meters to go.
That's it?
That's it.
Well, that's
Oh.
boring. We won't get anywhere near the wall of destruction.
No,
It could be a wall of,
a wall of delights.
yes.
Yeah,
delight.
it could be a
Little
wall of
s-
delight.
Yeah.
Usually they are. I still can't believe we didn't look at that flange pole yesterday. That is just so criminal of us.
I spent like 5 minutes on it.
Really?
Yeah,
Where was
just
I?
had to watch. You were busy chatting with Josh.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a good view of it?
Oh,
with
yeah.
The stereo? You're killing me.
Well, the stereo was all right. If the stereo was tilted up like, I don't know, 5 degrees, it would be much better.
Really?
All right,
Yeah, it was
ship
just
move
at
is
the
done.
edge.
There's always C-tube, Dan.
And now we gotta wait for the swing,
Yep.
the pendulum.
I would like to stick that stereo camera into a flange pole. I stuck a R2 Sonics multi-beam into a flange pole and melted it. We got some awesome video. This is epic.
What did that cost you?
50 grand. I've melted more than one sonar. I melted the Ropos sonar so bad, it not only melted the head and vented everything in the head, but it cooked the penetrator out of the bottom of the sonar and flooded the electronics as well, so double damage.
Whoops.
But hey, we were getting samples with the majors. We got just an awesome sample. Sometimes you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Well said.
Okay, so we've still got how far to go? $15 meters?
20 meters.
20 meters to go?
Yeah, ish. 20-ish.
You get a good reference now of what Atalanta's doing with that wall of delight in your sonar.
Did we zero our wraps on launch?
We did.
We did.
It looks like there's a wrap in the tether. You can see it. Like,
That's from, yeah, they recovered with a wrap.
yeah, you can see it trying to huckle over, twist.
So we should take the time to deal with that if you think that's an issue.
Yeah, I'm just seeing it's starting to
Yeah,
curl over on itself.
that'll kill us.
Yeah.
Well, probably should do it after we have this thing out of our hand, or...
Definitely.
Yes.
I don't know, it could be fun.
Yeah, yo-yo hanging off the front of the hook.
Resolve the tether wrap, but get caught on everything else.
The sediment trap wrap.
Yeah, exactly.
So where in theory will we wind up from the other one? Should we get viz of it when we come in on this
In theory,
footing?
we should be south, just slightly south of the old one. But by about 5 meters, maybe?
I think if we make it to this target location without seeing it, then we're okay. We let go of it. And then if we're nearby, we can have a look for the old one just to make sure we still know where it is. But
we could probably get a visual.
290 from you now.
Do you want to get a visual of the other one before we place this one?
No. It's not necessary for us to be that accurate with these.
Roger. Yeah, I see that pigtail trying to happen in the tether.
Yeah.
That's frightening. If you keep it a little bit tighter, Danny, it won't huckle on you.
Yeah, if you want to, I'm going to stay at 20 meters.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say the safest approach is like almost coming this way, just to try to keep the most distance from this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we're going after the lower target.
The lower target, yep.
Okay. And we'll start going more like 295.
Yeah. Yeah. 290, 295, something like that.
North to Alaska.
Better?
Yeah.
Good morning, Monica.
Do you want another little step with the ship? I think this might be all we're getting with
Yeah, let's go ahead and...
Other 10 meters?
Yeah, 10 meters sounds good.
Bridge nav? Can we have 10 meters 325, please? Thank you.
That's the old one. No, this is our target deployment location, 5 meters southeast. Just so we don't run them into each other, I think.
Well, I'm going to start going due west.
Yeah, good call.
Is there some criteria about how close they should be, or minimum? Why don't we just leave it where it lands?
Closer than that. I think the idea is as close as possible without being an operational hazard.
Right.
I think you could probably quantify almost everything we do.
as that.
as that.
Question is, am I going to see the other sediment trap on any of my sonars? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, we're getting really close to the target now. How tall is this trap? 10 meters?
They're both 8 meters.
8 meters.
From the top of the bridle here, it could be closer to 9 or 10.
Okay.
Is this a good spot? Do you want to set down here?
Yeah, we're really close to the target now.
Sure.
Okay.
Start coming down, see what we can see.
If you're heading down, I'm going to follow you down.
I'm just going to lower my Z-bias until I start to slowly sink. Okay. Shush. When I get down to 10, you want to open your jaws. So you start seeing slack.
You got your Z-bias nulled there?
Yep.
Roger.
There you go. Open.
Turn on your downlights. Just dead stick there, Danny.
Yep.
Maybe auto heading.
Auto heading's on.
You seem to be sinking. You must have Z-bias or something on there.
I do have Z-bias, and I'm trying to set it back into where I was.
Just hit 0 on it. Jake can get the 7 out, pull the rope off if you're piled up there.
Well, if you roll your...
Yeah, we'll just get the 7 out and pull it off. You just go dead stick and let him do his thing.
Okay, go ahead.
tied a knot, didn't you?
Yeah,
Think
that's what I was saying is if we just roll
you'll have
our
to
wrist,
you'll have to get the other one, Jake.
if you roll your wrist
We'll make it worse if we do that.
There you go, see? There it is. You do that one little more. You
No, pull it
it.
off. Pull it off. Don't argue with me, please.
I'm not.
My concern, you'll get wrapped up and then we'll be caught on the thing. Wind up with a knife out. Here, get the other rope, Jake. All right, got it.
Okay, release.
We still have a beacon on this, yeah? We can ping it?
No,
No, okay.
it's in the bio box.
Roger.
On the new one or the old one?
The new one.
The new one, the beacon's in our bio box.
Roger.
The old one, the beacon was recovered a year ago when it was deployed.
Let's go back down to the bottom, Danny, and have a look for him.
Yep. Go ahead and stow.
Oh, thank you.
Feel free to sort out your tether wraps here.
Yeah, we do. We'll have a look just where it
Delta.
landed.
Sure.
Is this going to be the final position here?
I guess unless it's on some weird rock, but yeah.
Cool. Thanks for getting that ready, Lynette.
Yeah, of course.
Lynette, are you inputting the depth from the base of the mooring?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Herc to get a little bit lower.
Okay.
And I'll use Herc depth plus Herc altitude.
I think we've been trying to keep them consistent year after year, so the length was chosen a long time ago, and I think we just keep it the same.
Come down just a bit more, Danny. Stephanie's probably taking a grab of the, or whoever's over there, Data, taking frame grabs of it.
Oh, look, is that an Alvin rate?
I got the position.
Roger.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Do you need that read out loud or no?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Final position, MEF sediment trap, latitude 47.94858805 north, 129.09907440
Back away,
west.
matey. Back away.
Depth 2197 meters. Current Herc heading 268.
Looks great, guys.
Nice placement.
Did you take those weights out of the gym?
Yeah, we have a gym at MTC, never gets used.
So we can sort out our tether now?
Yes.
So you want to, yeah, pick up the Delta and come underneath Atalanta away from that thing, and then figure out which way we got to spin.
I could actually see it a bit more when we were stretched out.
Did you work out whether it was the clock or counterclock, or is that in the log? In yesterday's log? No, maybe.
I want to say
Guess and
It's
check.
hard to tell. It's too so smoky right now.
Good morning, AJ. How are you?
I'm great, Monica. How you doing?
Oh, you know.
It should be in the book. If you want, you can.
Where's the book?
I don't know.
We don't have the book.
I can go get the book. It's not in the electronic dialogue. Speaking of, while he's positioning, can we do our hourly check and make a note that we have moved the sediment trap?
We can take bets.
I'll go down and grab the book.
What do you think, Jeb?
About which direction and how many wraps?
Yeah, which direction Herc has to turn.
Well,
I think it's got to turn counterclockwise.
I'm thinking clockwise.
I'm thinking end over end.
I was going to say end over end. I wanted to see some barrel rolls.
That's a cartwheel.
Yeah. Okay, so you pick end over end cartwheels. I'll do barrel roll. Left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right.
Side over side.
Yeah.
Danny's going to pull out his Top Gun tricks.
Let's see it.
Not with this vehicle.
What have we just finished doing, AJ? What do we do?
We went and found a sediment trap that had been deployed from the surface with a beacon on it. And when we deploy these from the surface, it's a very fast and safe way for the sediment trap to get to the bottom, but we don't have precise control over where it ends up as it gets blown by the currents. So that's why we put a beacon on it, so we can come back and find it with Hercules and then move it into a position near to where we've had these previously, so that our time series stays very consistent. So nearby, we haven't found it yet, but very close to this one, there's going to be another identical sediment trap that has all of the sediment it's collected in the last year since our Nautilus cruise last July. And we'll recover that one later this cruise. And this one here will collect sediment in the same location for the upcoming year.
Thank you.
I think clockwise. That's clockwise.
Well, clockwise with Hercules?
If Hercules spins clockwise.
It might be easier for Atalanta, but I don't know.
Well, whatever your 681's doing.
Yeah.
But right now it says we have 0.7 tether wraps. So if you want to spin counterclockwise.
Yeah, give them half an hour warning.
Yeah, I'll spin counterclockwise.
Sounds good.
And we'll see if Atalanta likes it or not.
Down a bit for this.
No, unfortunately, it just says recovered with a wrap.
Sweet.
So we should note in our log.
That looks maybe a little bit better.
I'll note in the book here. Which way did you spin?
We spun Atalanta counterclockwise.
Roger.
That seems to have at least made it a little bit better. I don't know if there's still a...
You want to make a note in the electronic log too, so
Yeah.
at least they can find it when they're trying to take a turn back out, or we can remember later.
Okay.
Sorry, what dive are we on? H something something.
32.
2032.
Thank you.
ROV crew, how do you know when the tether has wraps in it? What's detecting that?
Jake.
Jake.
Jake-o-meter.
We have a wrap counter in the software that is based off of the heading of the two vehicles, and we zero that on launch. But occasionally, things will get spun around before we zero the wraps, or we'll zero the wraps at the wrong time or something. So there will be a wrap in there that's not accounted for, and you can see there's a twist in the cable, in the tether between the two vehicles, and you can kind of see it right now. It wants to like twist rather than just lay flat when the vehicles are stretched out. So it's still doing it. So there's probably still a wrap in there. And the danger with that is that if there's enough wraps, the tether can hockle over, and then your fibers, if they bend too much, will basically lights out. You'll go lights out.
A hockle being like an overlap, the first part of a knot, essentially.
Yeah. Yes.
Like your 1985 Princess phone.
Yeah, it still looks
When you
like
pulled it off the wall, it would all be all twisted up.
I can, so what are we doing next?
Next, we're going to navigate to Grotto and do a camera swap.
Okay, so...
Okay, did we want to locate the old sediment trap or no?
Well, that's a good idea. Since we're here, we might as well look for it for a little bit, see if we can hit it on sonar.
Okay, I'm going to drop down in depth then.
better.
You guys happy with the tether up there? I can't see it.
It seems a little bit better, but it's...
I think once I take out the 0.3 wraps that I have, or...
Well, we often put a turn in or two sometimes doing operations like this. So the other thing that happens is we put a turn in and we miss it on recovery. When we recover with the turn, the computer keeps track of it, but we don't notice that and we recover with it. Or we don't notice till too late, and then we just deal with it on recovery in the subsequent dive.
I mean, at least it seems manageable, at least right now, but I don't know.
Okay, so I've got a sediment trap directly underneath me.
Yep.
You want to follow me down a little bit, Jake, or are you good on Delta?
Yeah, I'm following you down.
Okay.
Look at that little Norbit image of a sediment trap.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Dan. That is a pretty cool image we got going on there with the Norbit.
Oops, that's not cool.
So it's recording as we are doing this to create the map?
No.
It's not recording.
Oh. If it was, it would have a full map around us, right?
If it was, I wouldn't be allowed to be doing this, probably.
It would be a complete mess, that's what it would be.
I've got the settings all wonky, and there's some piloting objectives that we do while we're mapping.
You said that the sediment trap's the same altitude, right?
Correct, yeah. Like, more or less, not exact.
And it's supposed to be due north from us?
Yeah, north
Northwest.
from the initial, or the one that we just moved. Yeah.
Okay. Is this 11008 device ID?
Atalanta
The one that's
is
in the
off
dive
to
plan.
our side, so I'm going to fix my head.
The old one or the new one?
The old one.
I think you can see them both on Atalanta's sonar there. To the right.
Yeah, it's 11.
That's the one we're looking at right
now?
Can we grab a position for this one, Lynette, please?
For which one?
When we find it.
Oh, I thought we were looking at the old one.
No, we're looking at the new one.
Oh, okay.
We're looking for the old one.
Ah, okay. I thought we had reached it.
No, not yet.
My bad.
Okay, yeah, when we find it, I can get you a position.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Now, when we say we're looking for it, we're not doing that visually. Can you tell us how we're looking for it? Or are we doing it visually?
We're using the force.
Ah, yes, the force.
We have 3 sonars going. Lynette has a navigational target. So good old geocaching. And yeah, also visually.
Don't see anything in. Oh, we're only doing 10 meter on the
10 meters here.
10 meters
20 meters for Adeland.
You might have to come a little lower because it could be a meter too shorter.
Yeah.
And Herc sonar is on the top of the vehicle.
Yeah.
So you got to get down a little bit.
Got a question from a viewer here, wondering if the space industry has taken inspiration from some of your solutions or vice versa.
Definitely vice versa.
There's the one right in front of you.
Yeah.
Can you think of an example?
We're both operating in a very harsh environment. Is probably the general example.
Hopefully not.
I don't think sonar works in space, does it?
No sound.
No sound.
If it did, what kind of sound would it make?
That's why you use radar in space.
Radar and LiDAR.
LiDAR.
I do not see a sediment trap in our radar.
Yeah, I don't either.
You should be right on top of it.
Could it be a bit shorter than this one?
Yeah, he said it was a couple meters shorter.
Yeah, you got to go drop down a little bit more, I think.
Okay.
You slowly drop down, let it do a sweep, drop down a little, let it do a sweep. Maintain visual on the other one, if you would, please.
I'm trying to. It looks like there might be something.
Yep.
That's 30 meters off.
Yeah, 30 meters up to the east, northeast.
That's the same one that Atlantis lighting up.
Yep, there it
That's the target.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we just going to get a
We'll fly above
just
the
like a
thing.
target for the old?
Yes.
We're not releasing it now, though, right?
No.
Okay.
Mostly north for me.
Yeah, because if we can make a nav target with our current USBL conditions, and it'll make it a lot quicker for us to come back to it later.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just sent the systems request, so that's why we're just delayed a bit, but that's okay.
You saying you want to fly over there, AJ, or you're?
Yeah, let's get eyes on it. Make sure it's actually a sediment trap.
Okay.
It's on our way to Grotto anyways.
Watch my delta.
Are you,
Monica, I just thought of an example of space and marine crossover.
No, I just didn't want to get the tether.
I'd love to hear it. Lay it on me.
I guess you can kind of see it in Atlantis sonar, but
Yeah, one of my colleagues,
actually I don't see it.
Will Glad, who
yeah, I
used
think
to
you
work for
want
us,
a little more north.
will enlighten me on a process for soldering wires together and splicing assemblies that NASA had developed. Or rather, they had published a best practices or standard on that. So we were consulting some NASA manuals on how to do that and improved our soldering assemblies.
Thank you.
Like the Western Union splice.
I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, we've.
All right, do you want to do a ship move north?
And splicing a cable
Yeah, I
being
think north would
when you
get us closer.
combine two different cables
maybe
to
20 meters.
communicate with a new thing or
You
change
ready,
an instrument out,
Kenny?
right at the actual connection between the
Bridge nav.
cables.
We have an example in the
That's it
ROV
exactly.
in the ROV shop.
Can we
If you'd
have
like to see
20
it,
meters
let's see.
north, please?
Yesterday's temperature sensor anomaly turned out to be a break in the cable, about 25 millimeters behind the connector, or an inch behind the connector where they typically fail. So we've cut the cable open, so now we have 2 cables that have failed there, so we'll likely wind up splicing the 2 good ends of the cable back together. So we'll use what we call mil-spec solder joints, which was developed by...
Yeah, just be careful around here. It's like right behind you. The new one.
Yeah, using NASA standards for solder splice.
Was that
done in a very un-NASA-like environment?
Was that a pre-terminated assembly that had failed?
The sediment trap is just to your port.
Just to your port.
There's a
You see it?
rubber molded splice there, but it's one of those
see it in
real
upper
small,
That's the new one that we just deployed.
dinky
Yeah.
connectors.
Get away from
Like the
So we want to go about
Impulse
30 meters north from
IE-55
here,
or type thing?
I think so, yeah, those real small, like pencil-sized ones.
Yeah, we don't care for those too much.
No, we don't either.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, yes, definitely come look at it. And maybe if possible, post some pictures on social for our viewers. See what a splice looks like.
Yeah, sure.
Hot dog's place?
Hot dog splice?
Yeah.
Sometimes, so Dan's talking about a molding that's right at the end of the cable where the connector is. Sometimes when we're attaching 2 cables together, some distance from a
20 meters.
connector, we'll use a mold or form that looks quite a bit like a hot dog. It's about the same dimensions as a sausage. And into that we pour a potting compound to protect the electrical connections.
Cool. I thought maybe the cable was a hot dog and the connection was like a bun around the outside.
Oh.
You'll see there's a hot dog splice on our RAS PPS cable that I saw yesterday in one of our sort of Hercules butt cams. So we might get eyes on that in this next hour or so. I can point it out.
Yeah, that'd be swell.
I like Monica's interpretation of the term. Do you see it that way too? I think that makes more
I
sense.
see it right there. Sure.
The mold is like a bun. And the cable's
Yeah,
like a hot
maybe.
dog.
Yeah. Because it folds with a hinge.
Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah.
Good work, team.
So we can just pop over and take a nav mark. And that way when we're looking for it later, we'll find it faster. It ended up being pretty far. Like it looks like the nav is off compared to last year a little bit, which makes sense because the water properties change and whatnot.
Last year we had some USBL positioning calibration errors too that would change with the heading of the ship, so it was hard to pinpoint exactly when those errors were happening.
And that would have been when we dropped this marker, so.
Yeah.
But that's all good.
Now the bottom around here looks pretty interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like to me, I think I'm looking at like pillow basalts, is that right? I'm getting some nods.
I've heard that term used for it, yeah, like where the lava has cooled into these pillowy shapes.
Jake, can you stow the craft a little more?
We're a couple scientists short of a full van.
Okay, Data, I have coordinates for you, if you're ready.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
Can you read those off too?
Of course. 47.885238 north. 129.09904771 west, depth 2199 meters, current Herc heading 19 degrees.
And that's the depth from the base of the mooring?
Yeah, so I'm using Hercules' depth plus its altitude, essentially.
So
Okay.
yeah, it'll be to the base.
Okay. That's just good to know for our GIS team.
All right.
Okay.
I think we're happy to move on to Grotto. So if we head towards the IP, then we can follow our cables back around the same way we did yesterday.
Roger.
We don't want to take the scenic route through Rogers Pass this time?
We could.
Okay.
We
I
could?
is
According to
here.
Rennie, they're equidistant, so we could
I'll
go,
start
definitely go
moving
around
the ship
Rogers
up a
Pass,
little
get some more footage.
there.
I'm going to have to thank Jeb, though, because next time I don't know the answer to something, my reply will have to be, I am a few scientists short of a full van.
Is that like the plural term for scientists? A van full of scientists?
That's funny.
Okay, 35 meters, 035 for a ship move. Sound good to you?
Okay, and I'm headed to here.
That's right.
Okay.
There certainly
Bridge
is
nav.
some temptation to just spout off an answer.
35 meters,
I
035,
gotta check
please.
myself.
Thank you.
There's no shame in I don't know, or I'm not an expert.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, am I running out of my box? I am out of my box. I'm waiting for, I don't know.
Yeah.
Systems has confirmed power off to the camera. J8
Beautiful.
or JB12.
Thank you, systems.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
So, folks who are just joining us, we just had eyes on our old sediment trap after having dropped off a new one. And now we're heading over to Grotto, and we're going to do some work on a camera. I believe it's a recovery, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. We're going to clean up the area and move the camera in a position where it can be later recovered by our tool basket, our lifting basket.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little big to fit on the porch of the ROV.
Jake, you want to go ahead and do a gate check?
So the tool basket is kind of like a big shopping cart. We can put a bunch of stuff in it, fill it up, and then does Herc lift it?
That's correct. Herc does not lift it, though. On the Nautilus, we use a winch to lift it and lower it to the surface. It is outfitted with these stab mounts, we call them. So certain ROVs will have stabs that allow them to do a through frame lift.
Mm-hmm. So using the whole frame of the ROV to lift.
Yeah, that's right. You can couple the ROV to the platform and then you can lift it off the deck that way. Because of the two-body system that Hercules and Atalanta are, the tether between them is not a strength member. You're not really supposed to lift Herc or lift anything with that floating tether. And so for that reason, Hercules doesn't have those mounting stabs and can't couple with our tool basket.
Will he be used to kind of clip it in, though, like a climber on a rock wall?
He'd be used to hook and unhook it from the winch wire, yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's right. We could do it acoustically, often because Hercules is nearby to monitor touchdown. We would use one of our ROV releasable hooks, which are these big pink hooks that have latches that allow an ROV's manipulator to open and close.
Thank you.
Yeah.
AJ, I don't know if you and the role as a manager has ever come across this, but have we ever been questioned about the ethics of setting a trap for sediment?
Yeah, we are actually. We have to be approved by DFO
Right.
to place these traps and make sure that we're humane to the sediment and that, it's all done above board.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Yeah.
Is sediment particularly wily? Like how complex of a trap is
Well,
this?
sometimes we get the sediment traps back, and it's figured a way of kind of plugging it to prevent it from capturing more, right?
Yeah, the sediment works as a team to obscure the entry to the trap, and that'll to protect their brethren.
Is this the first year we've deployed the Technicap style ones at these sites?
Yeah, as far as I know, those are mint-in-box Technicaps, touched by the ocean for the first time.
Is the thought that maybe we'll move over to that different style if the results are better? Or?
Ooh, that's a great question. I don't know. I think just visually they maybe have a smaller catch area.
Right.
I'm partial to the
Should be
McLean
getting
traps
close to that
myself because
IP.
they have the integrated buoyancy. I think operationally they're a lot easier to operate.
I'm going to turn off your downlight, Stanley.
But if the scientists tell us to go Technicaps, we'll go Technicaps. I mean,
I actually can open the iris a little for you. There you go. See a lot further without those blinding you.
I believe they were purchased for a different project that never ended up happening, and so we had them laying around, and we figured we may as well use them to supplement the McLeans and
you can,
gather more information
come
on this
down
region.
20 meters up.
Do you know if they were meant for inshore initially?
I have no idea what they were meant for originally. I think it's an old project.
Right.
AJ, maybe, or Jeb, maybe you could touch on how we reuse things. Now, you did mention that we're going to recover a camera. Will this camera ever get redeployed? And
what's that?
if so, what's its kind of,
going down.
what's a check and balance you might look like? Kind of hose it off, throw it back over? Or can you tell us a little bit about kind of equipment recycling, perhaps, or reusing?
That's a great question for my colleague here from Test and Development.
Donald's on board?
Donald. Yeah, maybe Donald. Donald's probably on shore listening. So.
Hi, Don. Do we know why this one's being recovered specifically?
Where or why?
Why?
It's dead.
Okay. So the Norwegian blue camera that we're picking up, yeah, either the camera itself has failed or one of the components that the camera connects to inside. And yeah, it'll come back on board. We'll clean it here. We'll take it back to our Marine Technology Center.
Yep.
And Donald, our mechanical engineer, who's responsible for the camera system.
You can follow the cables off to your right, the IP's off to your left.
He'll pop it open and do some troubleshooting, and almost certainly replace the faulty components and probably have it available as a spare for future years. Sometimes we scavenge components and build new systems. Sometimes they go out as is.
If you want to go Rogers Pass, we can go left.
If you want to take the time to, the longest thing about Rogers Pass is moving the vessel all the way around to the north side of Grotto.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. So we'll go right then, in the interest of time.
Following these orange cables.
Never thought it would be Dan, the voice of reason, but...
Come on.
You got,
I would love to go through Rogers.
We'll get there. We'll get there when
Rogers
Steve's
Pass.
awake. I think Steve really wants to see it, so...
Yeah, it's just, it takes quite a while to maneuver Atalanta, unless we cheat and go right over Grotto, but I would probably keep Lynette on the edge of her seat. It's probably pretty early in her watch for that.
It's a bit early, yeah.
We know how to move Atalanta because we did it last night, so...
Okay, well, I'm getting my tail pulled.
Yeah, you have to wait for Lynette to move the ship, so she's basically...
Yeah, I don't think we need them at all.
Do you remember what we did yesterday?
Sean can go back to sleep.
Basically, we were at the IP, which is about where you are now. It's just off to your left. And then Lynette put Atalanta over Herc, and then we followed the cables to Grotto, basically, but we were off to the south, and then we moved the ship northeast, northeast. I think we did about 3 10-meter moves there.
Okay.
Okay, I think Atalanta has a bit more swing yet, but I'll move again, maybe another 10 meters.
Sure. So we got to be slow and patient here, Danny, and wait for Atalanta. It does have a bit of a mind of its own, so basically you'll wait till Atalanta's really close to you.
Yep.
Bridge
Then you'll
map.
move a little, then you'll have the ship will leapfrog, catch up.
10 meters, 045, please. Thank you.
Would you guys be interested in looking to see if there's any noticeable chafe on that cable where it's in contact with the rocks?
Yeah.
Might be of interest to us.
That'd be great.
Do we know which cable that is?
The blue one.
The blue one.
The
Thank you.
garden hose?
That's how we
Yeah.
usually record the
Yeah,
system.
I think it actually is. I think it's the old Tempo mini cable, so it is a garden hose. And it's no longer plugged into anything, but
Okay.
still be interesting.
So what are you wanting to do?
I want you to come down and gently set the porch right there in that giant rock close to that blue cable. Give me a close-up view of that cable where it's touching the rock.
The lower.
I would tilt your HD down just a touch. And I'm going to put your downlights on. I'm just going to blast out Ashley there. Ready?
Yep.
Downlights coming on. I like to see just a bit more of the porch when I'm running, or you can use that one, whatever.
I'm using the both views, the eye,
That one will give you a better...
the all-seeing eye. So you want me to go
This
where?
one still has a connector on it that we haven't harvested. Is it no good because it's like potted to a garden hose?
Sorry, that was too much.
Is that the,
that's
so that's the end that went into the junction box?
That's the view you want, so you can
I
tell
saw
the
it a
porch
minute
is
ago. We passed right over it.
It's an ODI plug.
Looks like it.
I think that would be pretty valuable to have back at the shop because it would work with any Ethernet instrument. And
Let's come around to your left.
there's actually a bit of a
my
shortage of those
Yeah.
cables for test purposes in the test tank.
I wanted to go
Yeah,
get that
well
crab.
maybe we can, if we come down with the toolbox, if we have a
That'll keep you out
knife,
of
we can
trouble
try
with
to
the other
break it free.
cables. And this one's
We
dead,
might need
so-
the hydraulic cutter. It might be too tough to cut with a knife because it's a garden hose.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen my knife.
Someone would have to make a call on the trade-off of time versus...
Knifey.
I have a
but
Green
it's-
River dive knife. I could carve through that hose in a heartbeat.
Do you have it with you right now?
Yes, indeed.
Can we reach that connector from here without, while Atalanta makes the ship move?
Where's the connector?
It was back by those bead bags that we saw earlier, just south of the IP.
So behind us?
Yeah, behind you.
Yeah, I could saw through that.
All right, Dan, you have 3.5 minutes.
Come
Go.
on, Dan.
Roger that.
It'll save us $6,000.
Really?
I guess
yeah,
we should
ODIs are not cheap.
Yeah.
hope that we're really...
And it has a 58-week lead
How
time.
confident are we that this is the Temple mini cable and it's unusable?
You saw through what? I don't know if my knife would survive a 375 volt zap.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not plugged in because this is the IP end. It's just whether we wanted to reuse the cable.
Do we have an ID on that?
We're going to turn off your downlights.
No.
It would be pretty old.
It would be old. We'd have to
Okay.
go into the old marine config.
Because we could get maybe Shore to look it up if we
There
need
it
to be
is.
sure.
I'm pretty sure.
All right. Final last words.
Looks like it's plugged into something.
I think that's just a small, this is just a small PBOF lead. And then the connector's right there, not plugged into anything.
Is it dummied too?
That'd be
It looks
nice.
dummied, yeah. I see it with a parking position and a hockey puck on it.
So where would you want to cut it? Cut the garden hose?
Yeah, cut the garden hose, save the PBOF.
Land right. Land back up a little, Danny.
Yep.
Way too fast.
Is that a glove?
Yeah.
There's definitely a high voltage glove right there.
Dan,
Do you guys want one of those back also?
Let me back up, or come down there, nice and easy. Judge it from your.
How would a high voltage glove end up down here?
Fell
Other than
over the side.
Yeah,
well,
land right
other than that, would it have come down
Land hard.
for any other purpose, or is this just a great, like, happenstance?
Most likely, yeah, just fell off the rail.
Okay.
When deploying Hercules at the site.
Yeah.
Are you sticked in?
Sticked in.
Roger.
Well, education is always looking for manipulatives, so if we can grab that glove.
For manipulatives?
Yeah.
Is that a communications term?
No, it's for kids. Hold on to it. Touch it. Look at it.
Deploy the
Manipulate it.
Orion for me, would you?
Yeah.
Yep, deploying the Orion.
Well, I mean, yeah, ask the dive lead if he wants to spend the time grabbing a glove. That might be fun.
Yeah, if we cut the cable and
Sometimes
we're not getting pulled by Atalanta.
It's easier to get forgiveness than permission.
Try to put it on the intermeshing.
This is mutiny.
Stand down!
We're going to pick up the cable with the Orion?
I'm going to
check
pick it up
that
with the craft and
What a
give
grab.
it to but
Pick it up with the
I'm
glove.
not sure if there's voltage in this cable or not, so I'm going to use my high voltage glove to pick it up. Put it out there in the sweet spot for me, Danny.
We're just cleaning up a marine protected area. This is just good.
Yeah.
This is our duty.
Stewardship.
Yeah.
You getting video of this?
Like a time lapse?
Highlight.
I am.
It's a high
taking
voltage
it.
cable.
Hercules uses high voltage glove to handle unknown cable end.
I'll make that annotation.
Hey, we all know safety first.
There you go.
That was pretty impressive, Dan.
Should I toolbox out and throw that in the toolbox?
I don't want it to catch on the gas tights. Bio box, maybe.
Yeah, we can put it in the bio box. You all right with that? We put it in there?
Yeah.
Even though we might pay for it later?
Yeah, well,
Let
that's
me
fine.
give you a camera.
You just open the box.
Okay. Bio box coming open.
I think there's a cooking pot down here somewhere too. I remember that from
And a chair in Cascadia we can go find.
I think we're just halfway to furnishing this place.
Dude,
We should tell Mike we got his glove back.
the junk run.
We should write Mike's name on it and tell him it was his.
Okay, now you're gonna need drunken bubble.
Are you racked back all the way?
I believe I am racked all the way back. I am racked all the way in.
How's that ship move coming?
Ship move is done. I think we're going to be pretty stable here.
Excellent.
I'm going to pay out a bit. Show me the knife.
Drunken bubble.
I don't want drunken bubble. I want it on Zeus. It's there where the
AJ, you
Auto
called this
balls
a
are
garden hose.
next
at
to
the
the
time.
panning
Niskins.
left.
Sorry?
You called this a garden hose. Is that a term of endearment? Is that a technical
Yes,
term?
it
Is
is.
that a
I just want to see bubble to make
I mean,
sure
I learned it from about it from Steve yesterday, because this cable was deployed and kind of before my time here, but I think it is actually just a garden hose.
was literal?
Like, yeah. I mean, it was probably never used in a garden.
Right. This is not a second career for this garden hose. It was drafted right to our purposes.
Yeah, like it was bought at the French equivalent of Canadian Tire. And yeah. And
open the iris.
Filled with oil, of course. Really, these hoses, like the orange hoses that you see us use all the time, they're oil filled so that they don't collapse under the pressure of seawater. And so you can kind of make your own with any hose.
Pen right, please.
And it seems like our French colleagues at Ifremer who provided us with this instrument and cable used a garden hose.
Right, a little more.
We might have to return this to Ifremer.
Yeah.
You want to pan
Well, we might have potted a connector onto it.
Yeah, actually, the ODI assembly might be.
It's probably ours. Yeah. Let's go with that.
I was going to say, I don't think the hardware store they got it from was going to take it back. You better have a receipt.
Right. Did not withstand attack by robot.
It feels like a manufacturer's defect. What are you trying, Dan?
What's that?
What are you trying to do?
Set the knife down so I can re-grab it.
Get another grab.
I thought you were going to try to stand it up.
No, it's...
$1 a second, Dan.
Oh, you're moving me around.
Yeah, I think you're just moving. It's all in the grab here on the whether I can make a cut or not. I got a little premature and sticking the cable on the Orion. Normally I would do a handoff with a knife.
Do you want me to bring your Orion closer to you?
See what kind of grab I got here. There should be a serrated edge on here.
Yep, you're pushing its opposite.
Roger.
So you'll be pulling up. Pushing down.
Spring the Orion, swing it right just a little for me.
Coming in.
Yeah, good. And then rotate left just a little.
Rotating left.
So Monica, this definitely goes to what you were saying earlier about recycling parts. These particular cable ends that we're looking to harvest here are very expensive components, and they're made of titanium, and so they withstand the ocean quite well. So even though this has been down here for a number of years, we can still make use of it and repurpose it on a new connector.
I think the other side.
For use in the future.
No, you got the serrated side. Are you? No, you're not. Gotta push it away from you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Nav for the save.
You're welcome.
How many is that now?
Wow, you can actually see the braiding of the garden hose.
Yeah, that looks like the top of the line garden hose.
So no one's asked about the knife yet.
Would you like to talk about the knife, Dan?
That is a New Zealand Green River dive knife, made in New Zealand.
It's about a $70 knife.
Might not be close enough to the Orion there.
You're getting
it. You're doing something.
It's a lot easier with
tension
on it.
Wow.
That
$70 right well spent.
I'd say you almost undersold that.
Now you got to put it back in the sheath.
Nope. Okay, that's going to go in the bio box now. I would normally put it in the toolbox, but we have...
Go right at video.
We have some other jewelry in there we don't want to disturb. I don't even want to get close to those things. Can you open the toolbox for me?
Yep.
So we'll come
box opening.
We'll come back for this piece that we've now severed with the toolbox.
Or at the end of the dive, if we have room on our porch, we can come up with it.
Do we need to take a waypoint for this?
Okay, close, close, close.
Closing the bio box.
Sure.
If you guys...
what would you like to call this? Garden hose?
ODI cable end.
maybe tempo mini specifically?
Oh yeah, it could be tempo mini cable end.
Okay.
Tempo mini.
I think now's
Yeah.
the time. Danny's signing off.
Nice job, Danny. Thank you.
Thanks, Danny.
Cable end. Okay, coordinates for that. 47.94896296 north. 129.09865271 west. Depth 2196 meters. Current Herc heading 99 degrees.
Thanks, Lynette. I got that.
So
Excellent. You're welcome.
we'll leave this here to the end of the dive because we're probably going to bring the camera here for staging for the tool basket. This is kind of a typical tool basket landing zone for us. So it's actually in a really good spot for us to recover later. And we've got big bead bags there as well to make it easier to spot. So with that, we can make our way to Grotto.
Okay. Okay, so I think we're heading up this way. We can follow cables.
You can follow this blue cable to your left.
Now, Dan, we got some real fans of that maneuver that we had there, but they do, of course, have some questions for you. They wanted to know how hard is it to control that arm or arms, and why use a knife instead of cutters on the manipulator?
Sorry, I was talking to Danny there. The arm is, this arm is a bit more challenging maybe to control in some aspects and easier in some other aspects than some of the other manipulators out there. It is, it's very responsive, so a very slight movement is telegraphed to a 2-meter long manipulator. Mm-hmm. So especially with the, so the joints on there are the azimuth, which is the round one that's attached to the vehicle, the shoulder, which is the long section of the manipulator, the elbow, which is the short section, and then the pitch and the yaw, which are the
Ready
two.
for a little ship move, maybe 10 meters, 045. Yeah.
Which,
bridge nav.
Are the
10 meters, 045, please. Thank you.
Sorry, Lynette was calling in a ship move there. The two rotary actuators at the end of the arm, and then the wrist and the jaw, which is the rotate and the gripper. So the movement at the end of the arm for the pitch and the yaw and the wrist and the jaw are a lot finer than the elbow, shoulder, or azimuth. So for example, when you reach out to pick up your coffee cup, you naturally reach out and maybe rest your hand on the table, and then you grab the coffee cup and take a drink. So, but if you reach out to pick up your coffee cup and didn't, and like froze all the movements in your hand and tried to pick up that coffee cup, it would be a lot harder because you're moving your whole arm back and forth. And so when you see us operating the manipulator, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to reach out with the shoulder and azimuth and elbow, and then when we get close, we're trying to move the pitch and the yaw and the wrist and the jaw. So when we don't do that, you see gross movements with the manipulator. You see it move 2 or 3 or 6 or 8 inches. Roger, come on. And we get spastic sometimes, especially after we've been operating it for a while. It gets, we forget that. So with the mini master controller that's here in front of me, we have to kind of, that's why we kind of hunch up over it like that and put two hands on it. So we're trying to not move the azimuth or the shoulder or the elbow and just move the pitch and the yaw.
Thank you. And why the knife instead of cutters?
We do have cutters, so we have coral cutting jaws that we can put on the manipulator, but that's usually a specialized tool that's integrated to the ROV. So there's a Canadian company actually called Web Tool, and they make some very nice softline cutters, hardline cutters.
We have one here with us.
Yeah. So they're very nice tools. They're very expensive. They're heavy. They require hydraulic power, so integrating them to the ROV takes up real estate and functionality of some of our spare tooling valves, and it limits some of our other functionality because we now have hoses in the way and, you know, things hanging off the front of the ROV.
Maybe
Similar.
another 10 meters, 045.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Similar to
Bridge nav.
when we, you know, have a bunch of science gear on the ROV.
10045, please.
Jake, are you taking a tether wrap out, or are you just going right?
I'm just looking around.
Oh, okay. That's
Joy
allowed.
Getting my bearings.
The instrumentation will be off to the left.
Yep, roger.
That's the camera on top at Grotto there? Where we're going up to
Yeah.
the res?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same place we were yesterday.
If you guys go down into the data lab, you'll see a very cool drawing that was done by Taylor Ann, one of our science managers, using that very knife to cut ourselves free from, we got a line tangled around Atalanta. It was probably a line about the size of that garden hose, but it was probably a line that went to a crab pod or something like that.
Oh yeah, I was at
Yeah. Do you see that drawing that she did?
No.
So there's a drawing above the printer in the data lab. We had a line wrapped around the 6/8 wire, our down wire, or umbilical that goes to Atalanta. So there was that line, and then two lines coming off of that. And then, of course, our tether all in the mix. So we had to fly up right next to Atalanta, which we usually don't do because the tether then can become wrapped around. And we had to get that knife out, and we had to trap. Did we drop one?
We dropped one, and then we had one more, yeah.
So
I don't remember that unfortunate part.
this is the bars that we're looking at. So the camera's actually going to be around that way, which is not where I expected us to show up, but
Jake wanted to come look at the flange bowl. They're like magnets for ROV pilots. Oh, sorry, I'll turn your down lights off.
I guess the Tempo Mini cable might have led us here because it ran around the back.
Yeah, I went around the back.
So what are we going to do here, AJ? We're going to move stuff off the platform?
We're going to move stuff off the grating, and then we're going to unplug the camera and carry it with us back to where we were, essentially our tool basket landing zone, right by where we did that cutting operation.
Roger.
You got some kudos here from Sea Dog. Great work from Sea Dog at WHOI.
That particular knife makes it pretty easy. It's basically a dive knife, but they're really nice dive knife.
It's a great look at our bars installation. That was done half by us and half by the other crew yesterday. Looks awesome.
It does look pretty sweet.
Now, AJ, what does BARS stand for?
Benthic and resistivity sensor.
And what's it do?
It measures benthic and resistivity.
I knew you were going to say that.
Actually, Jeb knows more about it than I do.